Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ayman, and I would like to share a story that's very touching to myself and many people around me. The story is of how I ended up getting stabbed and becoming closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It started off from, it was a Monday, I was looking for a job. Alhamdulillah, the period with me looking for a job, it wasn't a long period. I got my first interview on a Tuesday. So from a Monday, I started looking for a job. On a Tuesday, I got an interview. Decided to go for an interview. Alhamdulillah, wearing my suit and everything. I wanted to be a construction worker from young. I've always wanted to work in construction. I've wanted to do something constructive, something with my hands. And it came to a point where I had the interview and I got the job. They wanted me to start literally the next day. I started the next day, alhamdulillah, and it led for me to basically be so excited and so overwhelmed that I decided to go home, I decided to go and do my shopping regarding get a hard hat, get my boots, my high vis, and then decided to go home, told my family of the good news and everything, and it went well. The next day, I went to work. Alhamdulillah, it was great. My manager told me what I wanted to do, and I said to him, I'd rather do, because I'm qualified in construction, meaning I'm qualified in bricklaying, carpentry, painting and decorating, plastering. I'm qualified in all of these, and from college that I used to go to, and I decided to basically do everything in one day without no break. So I was meant to finish at 6 o'clock, from 8 to 6. I decided to finish at 5 o'clock so I can have 1 hour early. Instead of going home at 6, I decided to go home at 5 and to finish 1 hour early. And at the end of the day, I decided to be a bricklayer. And I signed a contract to work for a company. And I signed a contract to say, you know, from now on, I'm going to be a bricklayer, inshallah. And that was my goal. My dream came true. And then it got to a situation where I left central London to go back to southeast. I went to the masjid to pray my Salat al-Asr because it was around the times where I needed to pray. And before getting into that, I want to talk about my time before this whole situation, before I got into work, before I was working as a security in the Olympics. I did the Olympics with my older brother. And the area that I lived in, before the stabbing, it was a rough area. I was from southeast London, an area called Lewisham. You know, knife crime is very serious there. And in 2013, it was known to be the most unpeaceful place in the UK, or I think London. It was on 2 stabbings a day on average. So it was quite bad. You know, everything was, you know, by the will of Allah. And, you know, I come from Iraq, and I came here from when I was 7 years old. My father brought us over here to basically have a better future, and maybe, inshallah, have a move on from there. And what happened was that, you know, we was brought up in the wrong area. So, alhamdulillah, we can say that we decided to basically, basically move from within the area, but move to different areas within the short amount of space. And it came to a point where people started doing unnecessary things for attention, like robbing mobile phones, you know, making a gang, deciding to make a name for themselves. And the thing is, within London itself, when it comes to gang, what it is, it's like, no, you don't have to have a personal issue with someone to get attacked. You might speak to someone that has a problem with a gang member, or has a problem with a gang, or has a problem with this person due to money issues. This is how it is. And with my situation, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the person that ended up stabbing me, from after Salat al-Asr, from when I prayed, coming back from work. It was my first day at work. I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was my future job. I've always wanted to do this, and inshallah, I wanted to have my own company by the age of 26. I'm only 22 now. I got stabbed when I was 21. I wanted to have my own construction company, inshallah, by the age of 26 or 27. And my construction company would have been based on youth. People that, because I'm a youth myself, so I know it would have been a struggle for young people to basically get into work. So I would have helped them and tried to, diffuse the situation regarding them into getting problems regarding gangs or anything like that. And then straight after Asr, I decided to go and get a little snack because I haven't had nothing to eat all day. On my way to the shop, I was with a brother. And then as we got closer, something didn't seem right to me. Something did not seem right at all. So what I did, I let the brother in front of me walk ahead of me, just in case if there was any problems. I wouldn't want him to get hurt, or I wouldn't want myself to get hurt. So I let him walk in front of me. The brother ended up saying hello to this person. And as soon as this person turned around, it was someone that I knew from school. He was a couple years younger than me. It was someone that I knew from school. We didn't have a problem. I didn't know that I had a problem with him, which I don't. I didn't know he had a personal problem with me. And until this day, only Allah knows what the real issue was. Because I look at it as in the sense where everybody wants good for you until you become better than them. And I feel like people saw that I'm moving on. I'm trying to better my life. They can see my future's looking bright. I've just had my future job. So I think this is the reason, maybe, Allahu A'lam, this is the reason why I ended up getting stabbed. And I decided to speak to this person, saying, how are you, how is things with you, what are you doing with your life? And then I told him, look, it's my first day at work, I'm happy, alhamdulillah. He's not Muslim, but alhamdulillah. As soon as I turned around, it wasn't even a step. It wasn't even a step. As soon as I turned around, he ended up stabbing me. And where he stabbed me was right here. And the knife literally went horizontal. So from here, it came out of my belly. So this was the distance of the knife. This was the distance that the knife traveled through. It went through my blood vessels, the main nerve that I have in my leg. So now I got a nerve damage running on the left side of my body from my pelvis going down. And I'm constantly in pain. And I'm under so much medications that I have to take. And right now I suffer from the nerve damage and a colostomy bag. I got a colostomy bag on my belly. And this is something that I don't know if I'm going to live with for the rest of my life. And I pray I don't, inshallah. And what happened from the moment that I got stabbed, which I didn't know until later on, that this person tried to stab me another 2 or 3 times. But alhamdulillah, I dealt with this situation very well. As soon as I got stabbed, I moved back. I did try to swing for him. I did try to maybe defend myself by bringing I took off my hard hat and I threw it at him. And then after that, I decided to run into the chicken shop that I just walked past. I didn't eat nothing, but because of this person, I was greeting him and speaking to him. And then as soon as I got to the chicken shop door, that's when I, collapsed. And the brothers in there, mashallah, they're very helpful. They decided to come to my aid, and put my head on their lap. And the only thing I was saying regarding this whole regarding this whole situation, was my shahada over and over again. And wallah al-azim, I have never in my life felt peace out of my 21 years of living until the day I got stabbed. And if only Allah knows what would happen to me if I died around that time. When I was going through that and I was bleeding constantly and I was in pain and I knew something was wrong, and when I got to the hospital after the operation, I found out that my bowel got punctured and the feces, the waste was all in my belly. It was, and it's a disgusting feeling. But alhamdulillah, I made it through. Until now, I still have nerve damage. I should be on crutches, but alhamdulillah, some days is my good days, some days is my bad days. Some days I can't come out of my bed, and some days I can walk around or maybe even jog. But some days it's so painful where I can't even have my cover on top of me due to how sensitive the left side of my body is. But alhamdulillah, but it's just the bag. This is where I got the colostomy bag. And you know, I have to change it regularly. I have to take medication to make the pain under control. So when I got to the hospital, they pulled me through the x-ray. I wasn't scared whatsoever, because to be honest, no one wants to die young. But for some reason, if I did go, I think I would have been happy because I felt peace. Some people always ask me, like, how did it feel? It felt like I got punched. But I never felt the knife going in me, but I felt the knife coming out of me because I saw my flesh on the knife. And what it was, the blood was like boiling water. It was like boiling. It was so hot. And that's when I knew I got stabbed. When the blood was rushing down my leg, and I felt that it was very hot. And as I was running towards the chicken shop, I was losing so much energy, so much. And I was getting dizzy. I was, you know, stumbling. And alhamdulillah, it was great. And I say to myself, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take me out of my future job, the one thing that I needed in life, the one thing that I've been working for all my life, is to become a construction worker. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took that away from me to bless me with something much more. And wallahi, all my life, I've never been so closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've never felt so happy. And since the stabbing, a month or 6 weeks after that, I met my wife. And she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Wallah al-Azim, Islamically, she's made me gain so much knowledge. She's right now, alhamdulillah, I am married to her. I got married not too long ago, about a couple months ago, alhamdulillah.